Hey guys, what's going on? In this video today, we're going to be going over Necrolord, Havoc, Demon Hunter PvP talents, specifically for Arena. So, I'm just going to go over the talent names and give a little bit of an explanation. At this point, I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, you already play Demon Hunter and you more or less have an idea of what the talents are. If you don't, I have other videos as well. You can go and check those out, and I go over the talents in detail, and sometimes even there's some videos too where I go over only the talents, so each individual talent. So anyways, to get right into it, I'm playing Fellblade, I'm playing Demon Blades, Unbound Chaos, Soul Rending, First Blood, Fell Eruption, Demonic. And this is specifically for Necrolord. And to be even more specific, if I am running the Collective Anguish Legendary. So these talent choices that I have are based around me running the Collective Anguish Legendary. So I chose Fellblade because Fellblade is essentially what it is. It's like a charge, like a warrior has a charge, right? It's a 15-yard charge, and you can also call it like a gap closer. So if the enemy is running slightly a bit faster than you and you're within 15 yards of them, you can use Fellblade and it charges you 15 yards, right? You do a little front flip and you attack them. It does fire damage, and yeah, it's essentially a charge, and it adds to your mobility, which is your strong suit as a demon hunter. The next one, I go for Demon Blades. Demon Blades replaces your Demon Bite. If you've played Demon Hunter in BFA, specifically like in Season 4, then you'd be familiar with like Mana Burn build, and you would have Demon Bite. Also, if you run I-Beam build in PvE, then you're also familiar with Demon Bite. In PvP, just go ahead and take Demon Blades, and it replaces your Demon Bite. Your Demon Bite essentially turns into Demon Blades, so it becomes a passive ability that you don't have to actively press, and it does shadow damage and generates fury. So there's that. Unbound Chaos. As Necrolord, you don't have the hunt as you would in Night Fae. So by running Unbound Chaos, you just have that burst that you might otherwise lack, right? Not saying you don't have any burst, but as Necrolord, you just have more consistent damage rather than some on-demand burst like you would get with Night Fae. So in Night Fae, you can have Unbound Chaos and your hunt, right? So that's your go-to thing. Of course, as Necrolord, you don't have hunt, but you have the consistent damage and self-healing. It's just nice to have Unbound Chaos as some sort of burst damage, like execute style too, if you want to consider it that. Even if they're really low, like at 10%, 15%, you can just pop Immolation Aura, Fell Rush, does a bunch of damage, still does like 7-10k depending on their gear, right? And what damage modifiers you have. Still a solid choice. Next one, your level 35 talent, Soul Rending. And I chose Soul Rending specifically because I run Collective Anguish. Soul Rending increases your leech by 10% passively, and when you're in Metamorphosis form, Demon form, you gain an additional 20% leech. So leech, what that does is, leech itself, any damage you do, you get healed for a small percentage. It's not anything outlandish. It's just some nice small consistent heals that can add up to a lot, right? Why do you want Soul Rending? I mean, it works with your Collective Anguish, because your Collective Anguish and Havoc lets you summons a quote Vengeance Demon Hunter that uses Fell Devastation. So if you've played Vengeance before, rather than Eye Beam, you have Fell Devastation, and it heals you. So you're getting healed with that, and with Soul Rending, of course, it buffs your Leech, and you'll just have more healing. That's why you're able to heal for about 15,000 health, right? 20,000 health with like a full Eye Beam. So that's good. I can go back into when you would choose Netherwalk instead. So the next talent, we'll be going over First Blood, right? I choose First Blood just because, I mean, to break things down, I mean, it just reduces the Fury cost of Blade Dance, right? And it increases its damage. Blade Dance, I mean, it costs a lot of Fury, so just having that 20 Fury reduction from Blade Dance, I mean, it's huge. And of course, you get the extra damage when you first attack, so it just buffs it. Cycle of Hatred is more targeted for a PvE build, and a PvE Eye Beam build to be specific, right? So in PvE, I've seen people run the Cycle of Hatred, and there's other talent choices you can take, but PvP wise, I mean, First Blood. Essence Break is, in my opinion, it's good for if you want to build like a one-shot potentially. You can get like 10k annihilations and stuff, but there's too much RNG and other factors, right, to be able to get all of your damage modifiers lined up. So I just don't choose it. Is it practical in PvE? I'm not too sure, but I just know First Blood is by default for me for PvP. Next one, I take Fell Eruption. It's just an extra stun. We already have a stun called Chaos Nova. It's an AoE stun. It's really good against, BM hunters, Windwalker monks that summon their images. But this just gives us an extra stun. So if we're targeting someone and focusing them down, like training a healer, DPS, whatever, just locks them down for 4 seconds and you can bash them and hit them. Or you can also stun like a healer while you're focusing down a DPS. Your teammate can stun one and you can stun the other. Focus stun them, I mean, that's something else. But it's just an extra stun. And the last one, Demonic, just by default. Whenever you Eye Beam, you turn into your Metamorphosis form, right? For 6 seconds. When you're in Metamorphosis form, of course, you get your Chaos Strike becomes Annihilation, and your Blade Dance becomes Death Sweep. So you get the increased damage from those abilities, right? You also gain the 20% leech if you're running Soul Rending, right? So the 20% leech, along with Demonic, Collective Anguish, I mean, you're going to be healing. That's why you're able to heal for so much, right? Because you get the leech from your Metamorphosis. And yeah, every 30 seconds you'll have a go, essentially. And it's just a solid build. And of course, you got the other talents as well. Momentum, I've seen it like in Mythics. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it for PvP. Have I tried it? Yes. However, I just prefer Demonic. I think the more uptime we can get in Metamorphosis, like, the better. Demon form, the better. Fell Barrage. And in PvP scenario, I mean, it's more for, again, if you want to try that one-shot build, I can totally see it working. I haven't played it too much. I've tried it a couple times, like in Mythics. Honestly, I was just trying it out so I can pad the meters on big AoE pulls, right? And we were just having fun and like messing around. But I could definitely see it being a talent chosen if you're trying to go for a one-shot build, right? But I mean, one-shot builds are just kind of awkward if you don't successfully execute them, because you're building your talents all around the one-shot, right? So if you don't get the one-shot, you're kind of just walking around swinging your swords for however long, right? Until your cooldowns come back up. So there's that. I know I was explaining the other talents. I can go back to Netherwalk. Netherwalk, I would choose for if I'm running Chaos Theory Legendary, right? I was talking about that in a previous video, and when you're running Chaos Theory, of course, you're not going to have the extra healing that you would get like with your Collective Anguish. So since you don't have that extra healing, something that can be just as good or better would be essentially like a Paladin's Bubble or a Mage Ice Block, right? Netherwalk makes you immune to all damage, right? And increases your speed by 100%. So you can run away, line of sight, the range DPS, whoever, right? You're just able to run away. You're immune. Your healer doesn't have to go into panic mode, and you're just solid, right? So run Netherwalk if you're running with your Chaos Theory Legendary. That's how I would best explain it. I can go a little bit into the PvP talents as well. These are pretty much your standard PvP talents you would choose, like in any situation. Ones you might swap out. You can swap. There's reasons to swap out any of these, but typically you're going to be safe with Reverse Magic, Chaotic Imprint, Mortal Dance. That's assuming, let's say, in a 2v2 situation, 2v2 arena, and you're playing with a healer, right? You can reverse Hammers of Justice, Mind Games, Traps if it's not talented, Hunter Traps if they're not talented, right? Because they're magic if they're not talented. Fears, root effects like Frost Nova, Entangling Roots. There's like a lot of different ways to use reverse magic effectively. Chaotic Imprint, of course, you use Throwglaive ability, and it increases your damage. It increases the damage the target takes by 10%. It's a random school of magic: Shadow, Nature, Fire, Frost, Arcane, right? I mean, everything but physical and holy damage. So chaos damage is included in that. Your chaos damage comes from I-Beam, your Chaos Strike, of course, and your Annihilation. So it's good. And even did I say fire? Fire as well. So fire buffs your Fellblade and Immolation Aura. So it's solid. And if you're playing with like a Warlock or like a Fire Mage or right, a caster, right? I mean, you're going to help them out too. You're going to be buffing their damage by 10% as well. Mortal Dance. Mortal Dance, of course, is just a healing reduction. So anytime you Blade Dance, you're going to be putting a 25% healing reduction on the enemy. So times you could swap this one out if you're playing with like a warrior, a Windwalker monk, another class that has a Mortal Strike effect. I mean, that's what, if you want to call it like the vocabulary, right? The lingo. A Mortal Strike effect, healing reduction effect. They're the same thing, right? It means the same thing. So if you already have one on the team, I mean, you can swap it out and you can play it for detainment possibly. I mean, there's different scenarios and stuff. I can go over that in another video. That's a whole video on its own. But let's just recap real quick. This video is getting kind of long. For a Necrolord, Havoc, Demon Hunter in Arena PvP, 9 times, assuming you're running Collective Anguish Legendary, you're going to be running Fellblade, Demon Blade, Unbound Chaos, Soul Rending, First Blood, Fell Eruption, Demonic. If you're running Chaos Theory, you're going to be running Fellblade, Demon Blade, Unbound Chaos, Netherwalk, First Blood, Fell Eruption, Demonic. So depending if you're running Chaos Theory or Collective Anguish, you'll switch your level 35 talent from either Soul Rending to Netherwalk or Netherwalk to Soul Rending. And that's all I got for this video. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you liked the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, tell your friends to subscribe as well. If you didn't like the video, dislike it, leave a comment, you know, even if you liked it too, leave a comment. You like it, dislike it, leave a comment. Tell me I suck. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I helped you. Tell me I don't know how to play the game. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Any comments, any likes or dislikes, and sharing the video all help me out in the YouTube algorithm. It tracks my engagement with my audience, and it helps me out. Helps me grow the channel, and it's good. So if you guys hate it, you like it, do something about it, right? Like it, dislike, share it, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel, please. So I also stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/junkinmyhouse, and I stream Demon Hunter. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.